politics of negotiating identity in post-independence Fiji have created ethnic tensions that have divided dance forms. However, in light of Fiji's most recent 2006 military coup in the name of multiracial harmony and anti-racism, there has been a renegotiation of Fijianness in performances of meke that sometimes blurs boundaries formed by categories of race and other times sustains race-based boundaries.
These political and historical contexts are elements of what is being renegotiated for members of Fiji's disparate diaspora in Canada that has grown significantly due to the coups. Based on the Statistics Canada information, I estimate that those who were born in Fiji living in Canada number just under 30,000. And most live in Vancouver, and most are of Indian descent. And this is because of the systemic racism in Fiji. In the context of shifting biopolitical terrains of power for Fijians in Fiji and Canada, my research explores questions that center on anthropological theories of affect. Not simply individually felt categorical emotions such as happiness or sadness, but relational feelings of intensity that are transmitted between bodies in motion and implicated in formations of power. My research asks, how do experiences and expressions of dance-based affects activate and transform political tensions and identifications with nation, ethnicity, and culture for practitioners of meke in Canada and Fiji? How are essentialist notions of ethnicity so dominant and divisive in Fiji's post-independence reality becoming transcended and sustained in relation to local Canadian notions of multiculturalism and recent shifts towards national discourses of multiracialism in Fiji? And how can a focus on dance-based affects expressed in meke expose the directionality of recent shifts in power and biopolitical relations? I argue that meke in Canada and Fiji enables a renegotiation of identity through experiences and expressions of powerful feeling states that generate and are simultaneously generated by movement. These affects enable Fijians to decenter and strategically deploy biopolitical discourses of multiculturalism in Canada and multiracialism in Fiji that divide Fijians by treating them as ethnically or racially homogenous yet distinct groups. In addition, my research shows that while haunted by felt intensities that migrate from Fiji, Fijians and migrants in Vancouver generate new articulations of experience and meaning expressed through meke that emerge from a new connection to place. In order to make these arguments, my research looks at examples of Fijian dance that show how experiences and expressions of affect go beyond merely reflecting or representing culture and ethnicity as bound by time and place, as has been the trend in dance ethnographic literature and discourses of multiculturalism, and instead expose how dance actively generates culture and identity. My findings are based on an analysis of original fieldwork and archival research I conducted in Victoria and Vancouver, BC, Canada, and in Viti Levu, Fiji, which is the largest island of Fiji, in urban and rural settings between 2011 and 2013. In addition to conducting 32 open-ended and semi-structured interviews with meke dancers, artistic directors, and meke choreographers and composers at each site of research, 32 altogether at all sites, and 5 focus groups, I drew upon my extensive experience as a professional dancer to learn many dances at Canadian and Fijian sites of research in order to gain insight into Fijian danced expression through embodied experience. This step has helped me to understand the differences in dance practice that have developed from one locale to another from a dancer's point of view. In addition to my fieldwork experiences and interviews, I conducted archival research in order to historicize and contextualize my research. While in Fiji, I gained access to files from the Colonial Secretary's office housed at the National Archives of Fiji, located in Suva, Fiji. This archive has extensive information about some of the ways in which colonialism, religion, and tourism have impacted the practice of meke. For example, attempts by the British to criminalize meke as a form of witchcraft, and later colonial efforts to use meke for tourism purposes. In addition, I examined an inherited and unique family archive that contains formal and informal documents pertaining to Fijian customs in relation to colonial attitudes and spiritual and religious practices from early colonial Fiji in the 1880s to the 1960s. Rather than ignore feelings of intensity that emerged in and around the dancing in my research, I pursued these felt intensities to their edges and found them to be important indicators of change. My research analysis is supported by emergent dance and anthropology scholarship on the generative aspects of utility and affect that shows how through movement, expressions of affect can be shared and communicated between bodies. Since Western scholars of dance have tended to view non-Western traditional and ethnic dance forms as static, simplistic, primitive, and ahistorical tokens of culture, or have romanticized traditional dance as a form of cultural authenticity, I re-examine notions of traditional and ethnic dance performance. In this critical re-examination, rather than starting with a discursive or representational approach, I start with dance-based experiences and expressions in the process of their becoming cultural and actualized in cultural meaning and significance. Focusing my analysis of culture and identity on the ephemeral aspects of experience, such as memories and affects, requires explanation and interrogation. Theorizing bodies in this way marks a distinct departure from previous ethnographic scholarship on dance. Dance studies scholars and anthropological scholars focused on dance in the South Pacific have demonstrated how relationships and identity are constructed and consolidated through performing tradition in dance. However, in searching for identifications with culture, this scholarship, in line with much dance studies ethnographic literature, organizes itself around the notion that dances and bodies are sites that can be read as texts and as representations of culture, identity, and power. My work addresses a gap in dance studies literature created by an early rejection of research and writing on the ephemeral and indeterminate aspects of dancing bodies that were viewed as apolitical and ahistorical. My intervention is to explicate how dance-based expressions of the body are implicated within political, historical, and material realities out of which new identifications with culture emerge. This approach allows for an understanding of the body as generative of power and wider political systems, and not just an effect of power that has been inscribed on the body. My research aims to understand the affective tensions and conflicts within dancing bodies that address lived political realities and concerns related to various forms of difference for Fijians living in Fiji and in its Canadian diaspora. So Fijian dance is in some interactive negotiation of personal and social identity problematize the centralized notions of identity and ethnicity. My research reveals how the constructed and politically divisive ethnic groupings established during British colonial rule and explosive in post-independence nationalist politics continue to be embodied in the movements and affects of Fijians in Fiji and Fijian migrants living in Canada, both countries that through their policies and practices can at times perpetuate the separating of ethnic groups. This is a timely project given that the current level of migration from Fiji to Canada is quite significant, in part due to these ethnic tensions in Fiji. In addition, with Fiji on the cusp of its first multiracial democratic election since 2006, there is a great need for more exploration of the critical aspects of performance